Okay, so this client came in and she wanted to retouch her new growth and add some highlights, but keep it really dimensional. She didn't want a lot of brightness. So previously she was doing her new growth and just adding high lift color to lighten it, but this time she specifically said she was ready for lightener. So I'm going to talk you through what I did. So actually we started by adding her new growth, and all we did, she was about 25% blonde, or gray, I mean. So we actually did it with Color Touch in 13 volume. She only had like 25% gray. It was unnecessary to use permanent because we didn't need any lift since we were just coloring to match her natural. And a demi-permanent, which is what Color Touch is, gives a softer grow out. There's not an obvious demarcation line, and it gives us full coverage. And there are more reasons, but I want to talk about what I'm doing here. So if you're still curious what the other reasons are, DM me and I'll be glad to tell you. So anyways, we section everything on a diagonal back section and mimic the section angle with application. So we did a diagonal back and we just took the same section angle applying and painted in that application. So we teased it for a blend at the top, and we sectioned it and applied it on a diagonal back so that it's higher around the face and starts to kind of like drop down towards the back, and it creates this kind of teardrop effect. I only did 4 slices on each side to leave a lot of hair in between, and then I just did 1 in the back to lay over everything and connect to the front. So or she actually only wanted to do a spill, which for the place that I work, a spill is just about 10 to 12 foils. So she didn't want to add a ton. She was happy with how much lightness we wanted to add. The reason that I didn't start right on the hairline is because she didn't want to look like a blonde. She wanted to look like a brunette with highlights, not a blonde with lowlights. She didn't want to see brightness around her face. She didn't want a money piece. So she still wanted to look like a brunette. That's why I didn't start right at the hairline, so I kept that section down and I took a slice off the top right above the ear, so that she still has all of her dimension, which is the other reason why I only did 4 on each side. I wanted to leave it really dimensional, and also she has all of that hair to make that blonde pop against and keep her to where she shows as a brunette and not as a blonde. Also, in the back, the sectioning for the highlight, because I did add 1 highlight over the top and the back just to connect to the 2 front sides and have something to veil over the back so it just looks connected and like blended. I section it not at the crown but right below the crown and then to the ear, so it's kind of on a little angle like a diagonal, just so that whenever we paint it, it doesn't go all the way up to the top of the head, especially since we're applying on a diagonal back on the sides. I didn't want the part in the back to come up higher than the sides do since they drop down towards the back of the head. So that's why it's applied on a diagonal. And I usually do that for balayage and highlights, depending on the look they're going for. Sometimes I do apply it with the section at the crown from like ear to ear. That's just if we're doing like a traditional foil highlight where everything comes straight up to the scalp, or like in a scalp foil technique, which I learned from Kim, and she's at I am boho blonde. So thank you for that, Kim. She probably won't see this, but she's awesome. The scalp foil technique I learned from her, it's great. So I do section normally for that, but like for the technique I'm doing on this client specifically, I use the angle sectioning. So anyways, I can probably reply with another video to show you the way that I section, and I'll try to include it in another future video. But if I can like reply to a comment or reply in the comments with a little video showing you how I do the sectioning so that you understand it. So anyways, I just realized that I didn't include the whole head because I mimicked this section and application the same exact way on the other side, 4 foils applied the same way. But I did record that side for y'all, and then I watched it back and realized I was basically standing in front of the camera the whole time. Also, I am going to be trying to find something to where I can either do like a GoPro or something that I wear on my body or some kind of stand where I can get it way closer while I'm doing these like tutorials for y'all. Also real quick, the reason that I angled that towards the front when I'm teasing is because she has a face frame, so she has shorter hair right in the front of her face, and so to avoid pushing that back when I tease and like removing it from my hand, if you angle it towards the shorter hair until they all come to the same point, you get a way better tease, and it's like it's even across from the front to the back instead of like if you just hold it straight up and you don't angle it towards the shorter hair, then you push that shorter hair out of your tease, and then you don't get any lightness where that shorter hair is. And so anyways, I'm gonna try to get a stand or something that will be like right in front of me, which probably means that I'm just gonna have to get something to put on my like body so that it can record while I'm standing in front of the section. But anyways, this was our last section on this side. Everything else should have already been like applied after this. So then I'm just gonna show y'all like how I remove the foil so y'all can see the raw lift, and make sure also that you saturate really well. The goal is you don't want to be able to see the hair through the lightener. You want it to look like white because it's so saturated by the lightener. You're just trying to make sure that it doesn't dry out while it's in the foil. And I do use the shiny side of the foil because it actually conducts more heat. I know that you don't think it makes a big difference, but it does make a difference. And foil is a heat conductor, but the shiny side kind of traps more heat inside. So that's why I use the shiny side to foil it. So anyways, I do show you the raw lift and before toner after we rinse the bleach out. And then we didn't actually lift all the way to a level 9 because we didn't want it to get that light. She still wanted to look like a brunette with highlights, not a blonde with lowlights. So anyways, here I am showing you just removing the foils, what it looked like whenever we took those off. We rinsed everything, we applied our toner, which was a level 7, and this is our final result. She loved it, I loved it, and she'll be back in 6 to 8 weeks to touch it up. Bye!